this here on the right is the Thatcher's cider press in Sanford, and that's the press there where all the apples go in. And one thing you probably don't know is that because of, oh by the way, that pub's amazing, it's the Thatcher's pub called the Railway Inn, highly recommended. What you might not know is that because apples are seasonal and they press them all once they've been harvested, it means the press is redundant for cider making for some time of the year, and every single berry that goes into Ribena is pressed there as well. I bet you didn't know that. Why would you know that? Anyway, Thatcher's very kindly sending me some prizes to go in the raffle, which should arrive this week. So we shall see what they send. So Thatcher's, somewhat unsurprisingly, but brilliantly, have sent some cider for the raffle, and a t-shirt and a bottle opener. And if like me, you're not drinking at the moment, I won't be drinking until after I finish the Grand Tour. They also make this one's obviously empty, because I've drunk it all. It's very tasty, it is too. Alcohol-free Thatcher's. But yeah, thanks Thatcher's for the support, and that'll be going into the raffle prize. Amazing. My Girona. I'm not going to get his name right because I'm from Croydon and not from Latvia. But there's a rider who rides for Trek Segafredo called Toms Skujiņš, and I dropped him a line a little while ago actually on Twitter. He's very responsive to fans, really lovely guy, great bike rider obviously. Just to say, have you got any race numbers or anything like that you might be able to donate for the raffle? He immediately got back and said, yep, racing in Spain, Volta de Andalucía, which is known as Ruta del Sol, and when I get back I'll send you some stuff. He came 5th in Ruta del Sol, which is an amazing result, with some absolutely gutsy riding, and it was fantastic to watch, and he has sent some stuff. Let's have a look. So Tom's has very kindly sent a couple of musettes, a couple of caps, but check this out. He has sent his Trek Segafredo race suit. There weren't any time trials in Tour of Andalusia, but he raced in a race suit, in a skin suit. It's got pockets in the back, but it's still got his race numbers on from Ruta del Sol. Number 76, came 5th. Tom's, honestly man, thank you so much. And Tom's also really kindly been giving me some advice on some nutrition stuff and some of my training, hence in the background why you've got some risotto rice, some coconut milk. More on that to follow, probably next week. So obviously I haven't spent my entire week opening packages from World Tour riders, although you know that is a big part of my week, being a massive baller and all. But I have done a bit of bike riding this week as well, and I've written it down on a very, very expensive piece of cardboard here. I think it's from a bakery. So yeah, it's been my biggest week actually to date. I'm not sure if it's been my biggest week ever, because I might have done training camps where I've done more, but it certainly feels like I've clocked up the kilometres a little bit this week. 600 plus kilometres, literally just over, I think 601 kilometres I managed to clock up this week. And I'll break the rides down very quickly if I can. So Monday, just an easy 63k, just around the local roads here. And then in the evening I did a gig, I hosted a gig for uni. It does feel like the world's coming back open again. That was great fun. You saw the footage from that right at the very beginning of the video. Tuesday morning I went out and just did an easy 50k spin, because in the afternoon I went back up to Castle Combe again and did some laps up there. Now the idea when I got up to Castle Combe is to try and ride at tempo, but the wind up there means you never can ride tempo. It means that you have to kind of ease off at one point and then kind of go deep on the other. So it becomes more of an interval session. Did 50k up there, averaged around about 31 kilometers an hour for that session. Now this is where my first kind of lesson kicks in, because on Wednesday I went and did 90k, did it in a group ride and then added on a bit of my own at the end, and I was absolutely in pieces. So when it comes to the grand tour that I'm doing, I don't think that the problem is going to be the distance. I think it's going to be the intensity or the speed, and that's obvious, I think. But when you watch something like the Giro and you look at the teams who are trying to protect the jerseys, or they're going all in for their leaders or whatever, it suddenly makes you realise just how hard a work it is for those guys that are working at a great intensity every single day. And you kind of understand why those domestiques are kind of pulling the plug once they get to a certain point on the mountains, just to save themselves for the next day. Because I felt really rough that next day on the Wednesday when I was riding. So I'm going to have to be very careful in the first week that I'm out riding, because I hopefully will feel fresh and raring to go. But I've got to ride that first week thinking about the last week. So I'm going to be keeping a close eye on my power and on my heart rate in those first, certainly those first few days. And then Thursday, it was a hot day Thursday, baking hot weather, lovely. Rode to Glastonbury and then to the place called Pilton, which is where the actual pop festival happens that Michael Eavis runs, Glastonbury Festival. I rode with a friend of mine called Anna Scott. She's doing Keltman in a few weeks' time. It's her first 100 miler, so congrats to you, Anna. It was a tough old ride, that actually. 127k I did that day. That's kind of, I got 3 rides that are around about that mark. There's 154, 130 something, and 127 kilometers. Those are the longest sort of stages, and yeah, they're going to be long day out because I'm going to be spinning on those. And then Friday, day after that, 40k easy, just let the legs spin. So it's the end of the day on Friday, and it's been decent weather all day actually. Been looking out the window whilst I've been marking, thinking I'd like to get out there. So I thought, well, I'll head out as soon as I can. You alright, Pete? And yeah, good tar. And so the weather looks alright over there. Well, that's what I'm heading into. Oh my god. So I packed my rain jacket despite it being dry all day. That's gonna be wet. I can't go that way because that's where the sea is. Bloody hell. Rain jacket's on now. It's getting darker. And then Saturday went out and did 75k on my own, sort of just steady really, kind of that same sort of pace that I want to be riding each stage at. And then today went out and did 100k with Cleveland District Road Club, and it was chaos out there on the roads. There were just so many people. We stupidly rode to the sea front down to Burnham and then back up Western, and it was absolute chaos out there. We averaged around about 28k an hour, so fairly fast-ish. Slow up the hills for me, but then sitting on the front and sort of helping everybody along the way when it got to the flat. We actually caught the group in front of us today. Bit of a challenge to do so, but we managed to do that. So that's been the training for this week so far. 600k, I actually feel pretty good. I'm gonna have a bit of a rest day tomorrow on Bank Holiday Monday and just kick back and soak it all up a little bit, clean the bike, maybe go out for 45 minutes or something. But yeah, spend a bit of time with the family and the kids because they're off on half term now. So for those of you wondering about the raffle, I'm waiting for one more set of prizes, hopefully that's going to come direct from Trek Segafredo at the Giro. Once I've got that, I should have all of my prizes, the prizes from Adam Hansen, the skin suit, the caps and everything else that he sent, all the stuff from Toms Skujiņš, the race suit and the musettes and the caps, the stuff from Thatcher's, the stuff from DB Max, the stuff from Mark Threlfall from GTN, the stuff from Trek Bristol. There's so much stuff that I'm putting into this raffle. So fingers crossed that won't be very long until I can release how I'm going to do that. I'm still going to try and work out the best strategy for doing that. However, I'm going into another week of build now based around here. So I have a rest day tomorrow and then build it up again. And then the final week, the final big week will be over in Brecon. Now I have booked a hotel to stay, or B&B actually, for the first night that I'm over there. It's going to be the B&B that I use at the back end of those stages that I'm doing in Brecon. I'm looking forward to meeting the people that run that place because they sound really lovely and they've been really helpful and have given me a bit of a discount on the B&B to help towards the charity fundraising. So that's really lovely of them, and they've also agreed to let me have my bike in the B&B room overnight as long as I clean it, and her husband's a bike rider and he's got all the tools and everything. So everything is going pretty darn well at the minute. I must admit I'm feeling pretty buoyed. In the middle of this week I felt a little bit worried and a bit challenged by the fact that that I felt really rough on those two rides on the Wednesday and the Thursday, that I was really suffering. However, there's an important lesson to have been learned there, which is all about the intensity side of things. I've got to watch out that I don't go too deep in that first week. So that's something that I'm definitely going to take on board. And that's about it for this week. I don't really know what else to say other than the fact I've just spent about 24 hours riding a bike this week. And I feel pretty good about it, to be honest with you. And it's all going in the right direction. The sun is out. I am beginning to really, really love the weather that we're getting at the moment, other than that rain that we had earlier on in the week. That was a bit ironic, but yeah, the weather is absolutely fantastic now. Let it stay for the next 2 weeks, and then throughout my grand tour, please, it would be amazing. So have a good week, you guys. Leave me a message below. Don't forget to subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I will see you in next week's video.